Live in Western Oregon, this is NBC 16 Today.
Good morning and welcome to NBC 16 Today. I'm Lily Taylor. We'll get to our top stories in just a moment, but first let's check in with Brianna Chavez, who has a look at our weather this morning.
Well, we managed to still see a little bit of moisture throughout your Wednesday early morning hours. When it comes down to those totals, well, not a significant contribution to the already existing below average accumulation for the month of December. When we round it out in this next break from the next round of wet weather, we still see a little bit more expected to work its way on in. And with it is also a chance for some slightly cooler temperatures. Already starting it off this morning with about 2 to 3 degrees cooler throughout the southern Willamette Valley. Trending a little bit more so throughout portions of the Umpqua valleys and the east side. That purple and blue is very necessary, especially when we see the potential for a little bit more moisture to make its return into the forecast as well. And while we're seeing a little bit more of a change when it comes to those daytime highs into the overnight hours, keeping some of that patchy fog around heading into tomorrow with the 40s into the overnight hours.
All right, thank you, Bree. We now take you live with our live shot buddy who's keeping an eye on what traffic is looking like for your Thursday morning. We are in downtown Eugene, driving west on East 6th Avenue from High Street down and through to the Washington Jefferson bridges on Highway 126-105. There are dry road surfaces, but as you can see, just ever so slightly, some sprinkles are in the area, but it doesn't look very impactful at this time. We're seeing a very mild morning. Temperature-wise, you don't have to rush out to warm up your car too much this morning, as it's about 53 degrees at LSP's traffic vehicle. Traffic's looking pretty light this morning in downtown Eugene. You do want to watch for an accident that's about 4 miles north of Albany on Interstate 5. There are some slowdowns as first responders and police are responding to that situation. And if you're heading towards areas near Corvallis, heading west towards Newport into those northern coastal communities, keep an eye and be prepared for some delays or maybe different routes, because they're still experiencing some high water areas with that rainfall that they got pretty significantly earlier this week. Other than that, there's no delays to slow down your morning commute here in the Eugene-Springfield area. So thank you so much for that check-in, LSB. The Lane County Sheriff's Office announcing its decision to suspend its contract with Flock Safety, the automated license plate reading camera company. This follows decisions by Eugene and Springfield Police to end their contracts with the company last week. LCSO says they have not installed any cameras in the county, and with other local agencies no longer using the technology, utilizing Flock cameras didn't make a ton of sense.
So for that system to work, we really have to be on the same system. So ultimately for the sheriff's office, if Eugene Police and Springfield Police are going a different direction, going with a different vendor, then it doesn't make sense for us to do something different.
LCSO adds that ALPR technology is expected to be a focus of next year's state legislative session, and that the agency wants to wait for further guidance from the state before making any final decisions. And a Eugene judge has granted a temporary restraining order against the Department of Homeland Security and Immigration and Customs Enforcement following a lawsuit filed by 2 people arrested while protesting outside the Eugene Federal Building. Now, the ruling puts a stop to enforcement of federal regulations that had been put into effect 2 months ahead of schedule. In his ruling, the judge says that for the next 14 days, ICE agents cannot enforce any prohibitions concerning, quote, loud or unusual noise, noxious odor, or other nuisance, unquote, while standing on a sidewalk adjacent to federal property. The defendants say these federal regulations have what they call a chilling effect on the First Amendment right to protest. We asked Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley about this lawsuit. Here's what he said.
Behaving is protected by our Constitution under free speech, and we have seen very aggressive actions by Trump, sending out police to disrupt peaceful protests with individuals who have no marking about what kind of police force they are part of. They can't be held accountable for egregious actions, and that's really what you see in a fascist nation, and it's absolutely wrong, and it needs to end.
Lane Community College proposed plan to cut $8 million over the next 3 years is raising concern. NBC 16's Gabrielle Bowman went to the college to learn more about the proposed budget cuts.
Lane Community College is planning a $8 million budget cut by year 2029 to help get their ending fund balance back to where it needs to be. However, the Lane Community College Education Association is drawing concerns, with their president saying that they still don't know where this money is going to be coming from, with LCC saying that this budget cut is only in its planning phase. When it comes to that $8 million, it's not necessarily known where that's kind of going to come from, where that $8 million is going to be, cut from. It's just that this number needs to happen.
Yes.
The union also says the way the college has gone about the change could violate the law.
And there are a set of steps that have to take place under Oregon local budget law that include convening the budget committee and having a public hearing, a presentation of the proposed budget, and so on. And none of those steps have taken place yet.
LCC disputes that claim.
There's been some concern that we're violating Oregon budget law by bringing forward this 3-year mitigation plans. We are not talking about an already adopted budget. If we were talking about an already adopted budget and adjusting it with the people who vote on that, that could be a violation of Oregon budget law.
LCC says in past years the college has proposed budget cuts year by year, but with this plan they're trying to plan it out in advance. Reporting in Eugene, I'm Gabrielle Bowman.
The U.S. Senate will vote today on the future of health care subsidies. Now, Democrats want a 3-year extension of Affordable Care Act enhanced subsidies to keep premiums from exploding. Republicans have a proposal of their own that they believe will keep premiums in check while maintaining fiscal responsibility. Missouri Republican Josh Hawley wants party leaders to cut a deal if that's what it takes.
The clearest, cleanest, easiest, and best path left is to build what Democrats are proposing.
They ought to get into a room and start hammering out a compromise. And if that involves others of us, there's a bunch of us who are willing and eager to try to find a way forward on this. And I think we've got to, bottom line, we have got to help the American people with their health care costs.
The Republican bill would expand health savings accounts to help pay for some ACA plans. But if it doesn't extend the enhanced subsidies, Democrats say they won't support it. Now, we spoke to Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley about that upcoming vote, but he expects the tax credits won't be extended. Here's what he had to say yesterday.
I hope that they join us tomorrow and vote for the extension, but I'm not optimistic. I may propose a plan in which Americans get $1,000 in a health savings account. Listen, $1,000 in a health savings account means nothing if you get sick. These 20 million people are going to face this doubling. Many of them will not be able to afford it, and then there'll be less revenue for our clinics and hospitals.
Healthcare subsidies do expire on January 1st.
Hey, don't put us sharpening.
A big milestone in Blue River as a local nonprofit opens its first fire-resilient neighborhood to help families return to the McKenzie River Valley 5 years after the Holiday Farm destroyed hundreds of homes. The McKenzie Community Land Trust formed after the 2020 Holiday Farm fire to help fire survivors and McKenzie Valley workers earning below 80% of the area median income. More than 100 people, including Oregon Governor Tina Kotek, attended the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the first 6 homes in the new Rose Street neighborhood.
What we learned 5 years ago because of the fires in communities around our state was we have to be better prepared, we have to support the flexibility, and so what I would like to see the legislature do over the next couple of years is set some money aside so when the tragic happens again, that we're ready to help communities like Blue River from the get-go. It's been hard. We haven't had the resources. What the state has to do is be ready earlier and be more flexible, because when there is a fire, it's not just about responding, it's about changing how we do business to help the recovery move forward.
The 1,300 square feet homes are priced between $250,000 to $275,000. Through the Land Trust, homeowners buy the house and can lease the land for 99 years. The Land Trust executive director says so far Blue River has rebuilt about 50% of the community since 2020.